Welcome everybody, how are you? In this video we'll talk about derivative about trigonometric function such that sine of x, cosine and tan. Look at here about rule here. If we have y equal sine x, then derivative about y will be cosine. Derivative about sine will be cosine. And if we have y equal cosine x, then the derivative about this function will be negative sine x. And if we have y equal tan of x, then the derivative about this function will be sec power 2x. Look at this example. We want to find derivative about function. Question number 1. Y equal cosine about brackets 7x plus 2. We can find derivative about cosine will be negative sine 7x plus 2, and we must find derivative about this expression. 7x plus 2 will be 7. Derivative about 7x will be 7. And derivative about 2 will be 0. So the result will be derivative about y 4x dy over, we can write it here, dy over dx, mean y dash equal negative 7 sine 7x plus 2. And if we have y equal, another example, y equal sine, and the angle was 2x subtract 1, then the derivative about this function will be sine will be converted to cosine. The derivative about sine will be cosine, and we must write this angle here to x subtract by 1. And derivative about this angle will be 2. So the result will be 2x subtract by 1. Again, y dash equal 2 multiply cosine. And we must write angle here 2x minus 1 in brackets. Another example, y equal 10 4x. It's okay. Look at here. We must find derivative about 10 will be sec power 2. We know the derivative about 10 will be sec power 2. Then you must write y dash equal sec power 2 and right angle here, and then find derivative about 4x will be 4 here. Then y dash equal 4 multiply sec power 2, 4 of x. Okay. And what about y equal cosine 5x? We can find derivative of the function y dash equal derivative about cosine will be negative sine, right? Negative sine 5 of x. Okay, sine 5 of x, and derivative about negative about this term or this angle 5x will be 5. Okay, and what about y equal sine 5x? The derivative will be y dash equal, we can write derivative about sine will be cosine, and right angle here, cosine 5 angle 5x, and we can find the derivative about 5x will be 5 outside here. Now we have y equal to cosine 4 subtract by x. Want to find the derivative of this function, we must write 2 outside here, its coefficient about this trigonometric function, and we can multiply by derivative about cosine will be negative sine, and the angle was 4 subtract by x, and then we must find derivative about negative x, it will be negative 1. Again, we can write derivative about cosine will be negative sine, okay, and derivative about this sine here will be negative. Then we can find the result will be negative multiply negative equal positive, and we can write 2 sine 4 subtract by x. Okay, understood? Again, derivative of cosine will be negative sine 4 subtract x, and write 2 outside. And then we can find derivative about this angle negative x, it will be negative. So negative multiply negative equal positive. So the result will be 2 sine by 2 multiply sine 4 subtract of x. Okay, the result will be 2 sine 4 minus x. Another example, we have y equal x power 3 multiplied by sine x. We have two terms, and we want to find derivative of this expression. We must know y dash equal, we can find derivative about first multiply second plus derivative second multiply by the first. Or we can write first here x power 3 multiply derivative by the second will be cosine x. And then we can write plus second here, right, sine x multiply derivative by the first will be 3x power 2. Okay, first multiply by derivative by second, and write the second multiply derivative by the first. And we can simplify it. Right here, x power 3 cosine x plus 3x power 2 multiplied by sine x. It's the result about this function. Okay, so we must know this rule about multiplication to term. We must using derivative about second multiplied by first, and derivative first multiplied by the second. And then what if we have y equal, another example, y equal sine y over 4 subtract 7 sine x. We can find derivative about the function y dash or dy over x. Derivative about sine will be cosine. Okay, but in this example we have pi over 4. It's meaning sine 45. Sine 45 equal what? Sine 45 equal 1 over root 2. Derivative about this constant. So sine pi over 4, the result about it will be 0. Y dash equals 0. Okay, because the result. Again, if we have x here, the result will be y dash equal cosine pi over 4 multiplied by derivative about this angle. But we haven't x here, so it's the number sine pi over 4 constant, and derivative about the constant will be 0. Okay, pay attention about this example. But here we have x, so we can write negative 7, and derivative about sine will be cosine x. So the derivative will be negative 7 cosine x. Look at another example, y equal sine 2x multiplied by cosine 3x. We want to find derivative of this function. First, we can write derivative by first multiplied by second plus derivative by second multiplied by the first. So you can write y dash or dy over x. We can write the first here sine 2x multiplied by derivative by the second will be negative 3. Derivative of this angle 3, and derivative of cosine will be negative sine 3x. Okay or not? I will solve it again. Okay, first multiply derivative by second. Derivative of cosine will be negative sine, and derivative of this angle will be 3, so must write 3 outside here. It's coefficient about this trigonometric function. Okay, plus we can write the second here cosine 3x multiply by derivative by the first. Sine will be cosine, and derivative about angle will be 2. So the result will be y dash equal, we can replace here negative 3, its coefficient, write it outside here. Negative 3 multiplied by sine 2x multiplied by sine 3x, and right here plus 2's coefficient, right outside here, cosine 3x multiply cosine 2x. Now we have y equal x power 3 multiplied by tan 5x. We want to find derivative about this function dy over dx. Derivative about y for x equal, we can write the first multiply derivative by the second. Derivative by 10 will be sec power 2 5x multiply derivative by this angle will be 5. So the result will be x power 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by sec power 2 5x, plus we can write second here 10 5x multiplied by derivative about x power 3, it will be 3x power 2. We must drop the power outside here and subtract 1 from this power, so the result will be 3x power 2. Then we can simplify it. Dy over dx, we can write 5 outside here, x power 3 sec power 2 5x plus 10 5x multiplied by 3x power 2. Okay, it's the derivative of this function. We must know the rule y dash equal derivative first multiply second plus derivative second multiplied by the first. Now we have friction y equal cosine x over 1 subtract sine x. We must know the rule about this function. We must write down power 2 in denominator, derivative up multiply down, subtract derivative down multiply up. Okay, we can using the rule here, dy over dx. We write down here 1 subtract sine x power 2, and we can find this denominator here in the town. We can write 1 subtract sine x in the numerator, multiply by derivative by up here will be negative sine x. It's derivative by cosine. Subtract, we can write what? We can write cosine x right up here, multiply by derivative by down, negative sine x, it will be negative cosine x, multiply by negative cosine x. Negative cosine multiply negative cosine, negative multiply negative equal positive, and cosine multiply cosine equal cosine power 2 of x. Okay, we can sample state about this numerator. We can write dy over x equal what? We know 1. We can using distribution about this expression. 1 multiply negative sine x, the result will be negative sine x. Negative multiply negative equal positive sine x, multiply sine x equals sine power 2 of x. Plus cosine power 2 of x, we know sine power 2x plus cosine power 2x equal 1. Then we can write 1 sine x all power 2, and we can sample it. We can solve it. We know sine power 2x plus cosine power 2x equal 1 is an identity. So the result will be 1 subtract sine x. We can replace 1 here. 1 plus negative sine x equal 1 negative sine x over 1 subtract sine x all power 2, and we can sample this expression by divided. We have similar base, so we can find the result dy over x. Result will be 1 over 1 subtract sine x all power 2. We can cancel here with this numerator, so the result will be 1 over sine of x. It's okay. Look at here, y equal sine root of x. We know derivative about root of x 1 over root of x, because root of x equal x power half, and we must drop the power and subtract 1 from this power, so we can write the result 1 over 2x root of x. Okay, so the derivative of y of this angle will be 1 over 2 root of x, multiplied by derivative about sine will be cosine root of x. Another example, y equal sine power 2 of x. We must drop the power here 2 sine x multiplied derivative about sine will be cosine x. Another example, we have now y equal cosine square 2x subtract by 1. This angle. A derivative, we can drop power here outside here and subtract 1 from it, so the result 2 cosine 2x minus 1 multiplied by derivative about this function. Cosine will be what? Cosine will be negative sine 2x subtract by 1 multiplied by derivative about this angle will be 2. It's okay or not? I will talk it again. We must drop the power outside here and subtract 1 from this power, so the result will be 2 cosine this angle multiplied derivative by cosine will be negative sine this angle, and derivative about this angle here will be 2. We can sample it. Negative multiply 2 equal negative 4. Then y dash equal negative 4 multiplied by cosine this angle 2x subtract by 1 multiply by sine 2x subtract by 1. Okay, you must know this rule about this function to solve an example. Okay, but here y equal 10 power 3 1 plus 5x. This is angle about 10. Okay, 1 plus 5x about 3x power 2. We know we can drop the power here, derivative about this function. We must drop the power here, so the result will be 310 power 2, and we can write this angle here 5x plus 3x power 2 multiply by derivative about this is a trigonometric function. 10 will be sec power 2. Derivative about 10 will be what? Sec power 2 multiply by derivative by this angle sec power 2. This angle 1 plus 5x plus 3x power 2 multiply by derivative about this angle. The result will be here, we know 1 derivative about 1 equals 0, derivative by 5 equal 5x equal 5 plus derivative about 3x power 2 equals 6x. We can must drop the power outside here, multiply by 3 equals 6, and we can write x power 1. 2 minus 1 equal 1. We must drop the power here and subtract 1 from this power. So you can simplest. We can write 3 here and 10. You can write these brackets behind it. 5 plus 6x. You can replace this expression. Okay, 1 plus 5x plus 3x power 2. Multiply by sec power to about 1 5x plus 3x power 2.